In this tutorial, we will analyze how a camera works and provide a series of technical tips to improve your photographs focused on cultural and natural heritage. In this way, knowing the equipment, we can take full advantage to obtain a quality image that allow us to convey a series of concepts and valuable information with few words. The basic elements of photography are the objectives and the focal length, the diaphragm, the shutter speed, the sensitivity, the white balance, and the photometer. Objectives and focal distance. Although the camera body is important, due to the resolution we need to assemble and edit the project, the objective and the focal length will be those elements that will allow us to obtain a quality image. The focal length of a lens is the distance between the optical center of the lens and the focus. The focus being the point where the light rays are concentrated. Reminder: the objectives of a smaller focal length cover a greater angle and the lenses of greater focal length cover a smaller angle, which allows us to get closer to an object and reduce its depth of field to obtain planes of selective focus. Diaphragm. The diaphragm is a part of the objective that limits the light entering the chamber. It opens or closes to allow light to enter as needed. The openness of the diaphragm is what is called the diaphragm opening and is set to the value f. Reminder: if we select a low f value, it means that we have opened the diaphragm and can shorten the depth of field to obtain a selective focus of the planes again. Shutter speed. The shutter is a curtain that opens at the time of shooting and limits the time that the light beam penetrates the camera and reaches the digital sensor. The time that the light is reaching the digital sensor is what is called exposure time. Sensitivity or ISO. Camera sensors can work at different sensitivities. In this way, at greater sensitivity, they can capture more light. White balance. It's a camera control that serves to balance the levels of the basic colors, red, green, and blue, so that the brightest part of the image appears as white and the less bright as black. If we perform the white balance correctly, those blacks and whites will be pure. They will not have any dominant color. Photometer. It is a tool that allows us to measure light at a specific point and base on it. The photometer tells us what sensitivity, diaphragm, and shutter speed we should use to correctly expose a photograph. Finally, we must consider the automatic values to take into account in mobile phones: the resolution of the cameras, the zoom, and the effects of filters that can be applied to provide more contrast to the image. About the composition, we will analyze the fundamental rules to know how the elements in the image should be sorted in order to correctly transmit the information of the asset. The first thing will be to apply the rule of thirds that will allow us to divide the frame into 3 vertical parts and 3 horizontal parts. In this way, we place the elements in the quadrants to give more prominence to some more than others, depending on the message we want to convey. For example, if we want to blur the background, we must use the greatest possible focal length of the lens, approach the element, and open the diaphragm. If we use a mobile phone, just apply a filter that allows selective focus. Another important tip: look for conductive elements that give depth to the image through its perspective or vanishing points. Attention: if the obtained frame does not transmit the desired information of the cultural or natural good, it will simply be enough to change the point of view from which we take the photo. The lighting in the photography of the natural and cultural heritage varies depending on the use of the sun as the main focus of light. So we must know its position all the time. The white balance allows us to select the final color that we will give the image. In general, we can have images with colder and warmer temperatures according to the object we are portraying. It is essential to take into account the characteristics of light that we can find in each place or heritage site. For example, in a natural space, very different values are obtained from those we can find in an urban site or in an enclosed space.